Hey, Hidden Hermit here. I'm here to do a deck review today. And I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but I've got some traditional Mexican music playing. It's just a playlist I found on YouTube. And, well, it's putting me in a really good mood. I'm really enjoying it. It's great. But I'm not sure how appropriate it's going to be because the deck we're reviewing today is the Santa Muerte Tarot. And there's the Santa Muerte Tarot box. Santa Muerte is the female deity of Mexican, Central American culture, the personification of death, if you like. Yeah, I'm very excited about this, so should you be. So, the Santa Muerte Tarot was originally published in 2017 by Lo Scarabeo. It is the brainchild of Fabio Listrani. Fabio Listrani is, of course, the gentleman responsible for the Night Sun Tarot, which, in case you didn't know, is my deck of choice. It's my favourite. It's my favourite deck, I would say. And yes, this is his second effort at tarot, and very good it is too. It came in two formats. This is the bog standard version. It also came in a deluxe version, which was a really impressive coffin-shaped box. I don't know what extras it came with, to be perfectly honest. I'm sure people out there do, so just leave a message in the comment, just making us all jealous. I clearly don't have it, because if I did, it would be here. But there you go. It's a standard Lo Scarabeo box. This is the format of box they use for a lot of their decks these days, and it's great. It's really good. It's very robust. It's very well made. You know, you can really bang it, and that works pretty well. The box also comes with a deck of tarot cards, strangely enough. By the way, have you seen this guy? Isn't he awesome? Oh. Yeah, standard 78, just in case you'd forgotten how many cards there are in a tarot deck. Standard 78 deck of tarot cards and a book. Now, this cannot be described as a little white book. It is but a book. It is little. There's hardly any white in it, though. The Book of Little White, you could probably call it. Now, the book's really good. It's really, really good. Now, obviously, because it's so small, the actual depth of content isn't that... Well, there isn't much in there, but it's just a different vibe. It's a different vibe to a lot of decks that you may be familiar with. Now, as I say, this is a deck showcase, so I intend to show you every single card. It's not a review because... I'm not very good at reviewing things. I'm just not that critically minded. So yeah, I'm just going to show you cards and kind of gush over them, I guess, I suppose. The quality of the cards. Here's the back of the card. An interesting Central American kind of motif there. And unlike the Night Sun Tarot, this can lend well to reversals. Now, the book itself does not actually give reversal explanations, but it does kind of... Do you know what? I'll explain later. But yeah, excellent quality cards. They're really glossy, they're really shiny, as you can see. That's why I'm struggling to focus, because the light... In fact, I'm struggling to find the light. Where are you, light? There you go. Whee! Very shiny. Very, you know, a nice quality card. They're very glossy as well. Very glossy, so you can do that whole physics demonstration. Let's see if I can get this right. Yeah, look at that. It's like magic. That was almost disastrous. Let's just get down to it, shall we? Let's just get down to it. So let's start with the minors. Here's the Fool. Now, what I love about this Fool, and I have to say, I've been working with this deck for, I don't know, about 2 days now. I've had it in my possession for about 6 months, but I'm using it as my daily draws for the month of October in 2018. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, so my explanations, my descriptions of what you see are not going to have a great deal of depth to them because, well, it's kind of new to me, to be honest. So here's the Fool. A lot of the symbology, a lot of the little motifs are going to be recurring throughout the deck, and the butterfly is very, very important. This case here with the heart on it, and I'm not sure if you can actually make out the hearts. No, you'll see it later. The anchor is also something that you'll see a lot. And yes, the skull. Indeed, there's a guitar, there's a butt of a gun, a very particular gun as well. Yes, yes, and he's a skeleton. There isn't. I don't think there's a single person in this deck. They're all skeletons, which is, well, it's fun. It's fun, which is why I'm doing this deck in October, because of course it's the end of the occult year, if you like. So yeah, there's the Fool. Let's move on, shall we? The Magician. So the Magician. Now, it's interesting because he does have his tools, as per magicians do. He's holding a wand. He's got swords up in the top there. There's some sort of chalicey vessel thing. I've not yet. I mean, I suppose these could be seen as pentacles. I don't know. But he's also got a crystal ball, which is cracking. I think all magicians should have crystal balls. Yeah. High Priestess. What a cracking picture this is. Candles is another thing that goes on a lot in this deck. Also, this guy here pops up a lot. Now, it's a skeleton of a bird. I can't tell you what sort of bird it is. In my head, it's a parrot because I like parrots. But it's probably more a crow or a raven. Or even an owl. Even maybe an owl. Yeah, let's call it an owl. Mr. Owl. Empress. And yeah, look, there's that heart again, just popping up there. Skulls are all over the place in this deck. It's amazing, you know. They're hidden in the background. They're formed by other sort of things. And again, we've got more butterflies up here. There's the Empress with her scepter. Here's the Emperor with his similar scepter. And there's the casket again. And the casket, I believe, is meant to signify material things. So the Emperor in this depiction is very much, yeah, he's the protector of material things. He's holding an AK-47 there, as do most skeletons. This is a thing, I'm sure it is. And I've only just noticed, this is, excuse me just a second. No, I'm lying. I was seeing things. I thought he had a metal leg, but it's just another anchor. Now, the anchor, I believe, symbolises the idea that you need to be grounded and, yeah, rooted in a sense. The Hierophant, beardy, with a Ouija board, which is cool. He's showing that symbol of benediction with his right hand there. In fact, he's kind of showing it in both hands, which is kind of clever. And yeah, he's using a Ouija board, which is very cool. The Lovers. Again, we have this sacred, this blessed heart that's popping up. And this one's got a lock and a key in it. Make from that what you will. Because I know I will. This is interesting too. You have in the background. The background is the background. That makes sense. Very evocative image. I'm going to say the word evocative a lot because it's very evocative. I love this chariot as well. I mean, what's going on in it's almost like a Day of the Dead celebration, like a carnival almost. And yeah, like I say, I mean, obviously I've looked through these cards once in preparation for this video, but it does feel like I'm just coming to it again. It's amazing. And yeah, Fabio Listrani, he's a graphic illustrator, so he does comics, he does t-shirts, he does artwork for bands, including his own band, and he's a digital artist from what I can make out. I've seen him do some stuff on Instagram, and it's all very, very impressive. But yeah, I mean, this must take ages. It must take ages. Anyway, time's getting on. This one's cool, the Strength, and you got this. Now, I believe I know what this creature is in. I think it's either Inca or Man culture, but I'm not going to even try pronounce it. It begins with a Q, I think. So I just call him Frog Dude, and he makes an appearance in the Santa Muerte Oracle. Now, I should have probably mentioned this earlier. There are two versions of the Santa Muerte Tarot, just the box really. But in 2018, in September 2018, Fabio Listrani brought out the Santa Muerte Oracle, which, you know, it's slightly different to a tarot deck. Again, I don't have it, so I don't know why I'm talking about it, but I do intend to get it after having, you know, spending a whole 48 hours with this deck. But he makes an appearance in that, because I know that because I've seen a picture. Here's the Hermit. Yay! I do like this Hermit. I like all Hermits. Coffins is another thing that comes up quite a lot in this deck. And I've also discovered that whenever you see a coffin, you get this creepy blue millipede type creature thing going on. I don't know the significance of it. It may just be something that's just looking cool. I don't know. And also, when I was perusing the deck earlier, and I'm not sure if you can see it, there's a hip flask down there, right at the bottom, and it's got a little motif on it. And it's a bit of a shame that I got 10 cards in, and this is the first time I noticed it, because it is Fabio Listrani's tag, if you like, his autograph. Here's one of Fabio Listrani's cards. I took it out of his pocket at the weekend while he was having a beer. That is a lie, obvious. I did not take anything from anybody. So yep, there's the Hermit. Wheel of Fortune. This is very, very cool. You got this double scythe here. Lots of here's that word again. Lots of evocative imagery. I love the hourglass there. Hanging from their necks, you've got, and I'm going to try and get a little bit closer. You've got an Alpha and an Omega. That necklaces they're wearing. And this is very similar to the Moon card in the Night Sun Tarot, in that, you know, you can do that and feel like you're on a fairground ride. It's great. Next card, Justice, and already we got a reoccurring theme of the Scythe. The Scythe does make another appearance. There's a very deathly looking figure. You know, in what we would say in Western traditions that this would look like, with the scythe and the black cloak, and there's the Alpha and the Omega necklaces as well. There's also a key round the neck of Justice, and yeah, let's say it's Lady Justice because, well, traditionally she's lady. Skulls everywhere, awesome. How about this for a hangman? It's not the whole man, it's just his head. In fact, he's hanging it himself. That's probably significant. I'm going to give that some thought. You know, the hangman's always about making that sacrifice of getting a different viewpoint of things. And so it's almost as if he's doing this to himself, which is rather clever. Now, I don't know what that donut thing in the corner it means. It's not a donut, it's a mirror. Sorry, I can't focus that. But yeah. Just like the Night Sun, which is a very challenging deck, this does ask a lot of questions for you, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. Death is not death. Death is Santa Muerte. It would be a bit silly if it was anything else. Again, Santa Muerte has a very, very impressive scythe there. And again, like the Night Sun deck, like the Death card in the Night Sun, this is a pregnant death, which just lends itself to that idea of rebirth, which is very, very clever. And if you remember the Strength card, go on, focus, I dare you, you're not going to do it, but that frog dude is in the bottom corner there, which is cool. Temperance, an actual angel kind of figure here. Typical. I'm loving the I suppose they would be Aztec, wouldn't they? Aztec pyramids, maybe Mayan, Central to South American at the very least. The Devil. Now the Devil's interesting. You know, in a lot of tarot scholar examinations of the Devil card, there is a sort of definite negative connotations to it. Not so much with the Devil card. In fact, I think this is a good time to actually crack the book that's not white but is little. And I'm just going to read out one of the explanations to one of the cards, because it's very, very clever. Like I say, there isn't a reversal meaning. There isn't a standard and a reversal meaning, but it does tell you what's good about the card and what's bad about the card. So the Devil is creativity and passion at its highest point, which already is counterintuitive to that Baphomet image from the Waite Smith, for example. The Devil is a source from where we attain will, audacity and charisma into the profound depths of the psyche and the human subconsciousness. Go Devil! It pushes us to realise and liberate our true nature by encountering successes, contracts and solid and lasting targets. How cool is that? It's a great interpretation of the Devil card. It does go on, however, and this is the same for all the explanations for every card in the whole deck. When the situation, however, is in the negative, this could become a synonym of arrogance, possessiveness and dependency, creating suffocating and binding ties like the strings a puppeteer holds in his hands, which kind of vibes more with what we traditionally associated with the devil cards. But I really like the idea that there's a positive aspect and a negative aspect, and it explains it so well in the book. It is my understanding that Fabio Listrani did write the text, but it was translated by somebody else because he is Italian. And yeah, so yep, we can remain in focus. He does have these guitarists here on strings. I've forgotten the word, the mariachi. Anyway, moving on. 15 minutes, crikey. Now this is an amazing card. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is the Tower. And check this out. There is so much going on in this card. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Reminiscent of Escher, I believe, with the whole staircase that goes in all sorts of different directions. And indeed, you can look at this from lots of different viewpoints. Lots of different viewpoints. And again, the explanation of the Tower card starts with something positive. It starts with, you know, the idea of rebirth and such, before going on to, I believe in the book it says, and then negatively it could mean absolute catastrophe, depending on whether or not we're fulfilling the positive aspects of the card. But this is just such a cracking tower. Such a cracking tower. I am mortally impressed, if you like. The Star. Again, we're tapping into some Central and South American cultures. Aztec, Incan, Mayan. You've got the Tenerife star in the top there, the 7-pointed star. You can't really see it, unfortunately. The lighting is awful, but the fish swimming around are also skeletons. Hurrah. The Moon. Now, this is interesting. I did say earlier that there are no actual people in the deck, but this is a flesh and blood woman down here. You can't see her face, but you can see her reflection, which is a skeleton. It's very clever. Again, you can't see it so much, but the water's full of crabs too, just giving it that moon vibe. Now, the one thing that's missing from the imagery in this deck, unlike the Night Sun, which did lend itself to a lot of tot imagery, I believe, is the astrological attributions. There's none of it there. There's no mention of it. There's nothing to suggest that that's an influence on the images. And do you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. Here's the Sun. Two familiar figures there. We saw them in the Devil cards. I just love the skulls and the sunflowers. It's just great. I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. Judgment. And there's the owl dude. If it's an owl up the top there. Yeah, lovely, lovely. And finally, of the major arcana, the World. And it actually does have a world in it, which is very clever. You've also got all the elements are represented up there, as opposed to, say, the Waite Smith, which shows the fixed signs of the zodiac. But yeah, this is relevant. This is relevant, and we're going to get onto that right now. So we start with Cups, and the order of the deck came in. I forgot because I just shuffled them and went with it. But they're in the order that they are presented in the little not white book, if you like. So obviously all the suits are thematically linked, and more so with this deck as well. So for example, the Cups here, all the skulls have these hearts as eyes, and they also have open top heads. The colour blue is the relevant colour, which we're all quite used to. Also, there's a better focus on the heart and the thoracic rib cage as well, which is some of the imagery that you'll see coming up. So that's the Ace of Cups. Here's the Two of Cups. There you go. You got those open top skulls there, sharing their emotions. Another thing about the Suit of Cups, and it does mention it quite a few times in the little not white book. Not only is it about emotion and feeling, but also memories play a very big part. And you know, this couple here in the Two of Cups, the love card, if you like, they're sharing those memories, and I just love this one here who's tickling the heart. Just oh la 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 la. Brilliant. Three of Cups. there you go. There's the traditional motif of the skewered heart, if you like, which comes up quite a lot in this deck. You'll see it just on the side of things, and you'll see it just popping up here and there. Again, kind of tapping into that Catholic image of the burning heart, or the sacred heart. But yeah, party ensuing in the Three of Cups, as we are used to. The Four of Cups, I love this. I love this. So the Four of Cups is that bored guy sitting against the tree in the Waitsmith, and he's pouring his memories out on the ground. Another one of these creepy millipede dudes. It's not blue in that one. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a colour thing. But yeah, so yeah, you're getting this idea of indolence and of boredom, I guess. Yeah, but kind of similar to what you're used to on your average tarot deck. I love this one. Here is the Five of Cups, and I believe the book suggests that it's about navigating the emotions of your mind, the labyrinth of your emotions, excuse me. And as you can see there's a labyrinth. It's very emotive, and it's concerning his mind. Very clever. Six of Cups, the nostalgia card. This figure here is struggling to maintain balance. She's spilling her cups all over the shop, possibly because she's looking behind herself. Again, similar to what we're used to. The Seven of Cups, and again there's that skewered heart at the top there. Again, the Seven of Cups. For me, the debauch card, it does give me kind of negative connotations, but when you see the book, it gives the positive attributes first of all. Picking up the pace again. There's the Eight of Cups. So the skull doesn't have cups for eyes, but the chalices on the crown do. Here is the Nine of Cups. Heart, cups. Okay, this is excellent. So the tens are the tens in this deck are all thematically linked between them. So it's all about the completion. So yeah, you've got the you have the ace. All the aces look very similar. They're giving you the skull and the colours and the kind of attributes, and then you get to the completion, and it's the same with all the tens. The ace and the tens have similar formatted imagery throughout the four suits. And here you have the blue colour, here you have the background, which is the background, and you have the thoracic ribcage as well. So they're the themes running throughout the suits. And yeah, this is the completion. This is the completion. This is where everything came to an end. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I'm just going to put this back. That's the 10. Going on to the court cards. Again, they're all thematically linked almost. The two feminine suits, the waters and the pentacles. The pages are definitely feminine figures. They have this sort of veil headdress thing going on. All the knights are on horses, as wont of knights to do. And they all have those big hats, as do the queens. And yeah, the Queen of Cups is pretty cool. She's offering her emotions there. And there's the King of Cups. Again, the heart is predominant throughout the court cards. Nope, I'm lying, just the King Queen. So yeah, that's the cups for you. Again, I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit more. Start rushing through them, I think. So the other thing that I need to mention about the little not white book is the Advice of the Dead. So there are two spreads outlined in the book, and one of them I'm going to go into in a different video. It's called the Oracle of the Dead, not to be confused with the Santa Muerte Oracle of the Dead, but it's a spread which as I say, I will expound in a different video. So the pentacles, the color is green. You have the pentacle shaped eyes going on there. There are actual some coins with pentacles on them, or at least 5-pointed stars. Now, the part of the body associated with the suit of pentacles in the Santa Muerte Tarot is the feet. You can't see that there, but it does become a little bit more apparent going on. Two of Pentacles, and I think this is... Nope, it's not a good time. Shut up, Hermit. Two of Pentacles. Let's start boshing through them, shall we? Three of Pentacles. Now, I love this one. Three of Pentacles is that putting in good work, good effort. Now, I don't know if we can get this to focus, but if you see in the ground there are green pentacle-esque skulls that are sprouting plant life there, and that guy is diligently watering them. And I don't know about this card, that's just so... You've got that big sky going on. I think it's a very positive vibe with the Three of Pentacles there. The Four of Pentacles, I love this. Again, the Four of Pentacles we associate with power and sometimes with greed, and not so much with the positive attributes of this card. You've got bank here, so protecting your assets, and you've also got gifts. Sharing your assets is an interesting idea that's expounded in the little not white book. Five of Pentacles, and this is where I'm going to focus on the other thing that I was just mentioning back there. So the Five of Pentacles, that very evocative image of worry in most decks, and this is interesting. So you've got the idea of feet here. You've got the idea of feet, and it's walking across a sea of skulls, and five of them are highlighted as pentacles. Now, in the little not white book, in addition to that spread that I mentioned earlier, it does mention the value of doing a daily draw. And instead of urging you to, let's say, study the card and read the meaning and try and apply it to the life, every single card has what's called the advice of the dead here, which is a kind of a summary of the vibe of the card, if you like. It's very, very clever, and I'm going to read the one out for the Five of Pentacles, because it may not be what you're traditionally used to be honest. So the advice of the dead for the Five of Pentacles is: continue to concentrate on your present situation, working and resisting any eventual obstacles or barriers, which I think is a much more positive way of looking at Five of Pentacles. It does, in the actual description, it does say that the negative aspects are worry and that, but I do like the fact that it gives priority to the more healthy vibes, I think. Okay, moving on. Six of Pentacles. Interesting idea of balance. Seven of Pentacles. I'll start rushing through them now. Eight of Pentacles. Here's the 9, because it traditionally follows the 8. Interesting things going on there. And here we go, come back to the 10. So there you have the butterfly image, the background with the background. It's a green butterfly, and the feet. There's your feet. There is other imagery, and I'm not going to go back and compare them, but just take it from me, you got this idea of material things going on there. So that's the Pentacles. No, it's not. Here are the court cards. So yep, a feminine page again. There's your knight, big hat, skeletal horse. There's your queen, big hat. There's the king holding on to that casket again, that reoccurring theme of possessions, if you like. Okay, so wands are next. Here are the wands. Here is the Ace of Wands. Red is the colour, as per what we're used to. It's good that the traditional colours are kept. Now, the part of the body that is expounded of the suit of wands in the Santa Muerte is the hip region, because it goes on a lot about sexual energy and creativity. However, hips don't really feature in the cards, as you will see, because we're going to rush through them. Here's the Two of Wands. Now, interestingly, if there were negative cards in this deck, the twos are a lot more precarious than what I traditionally associate with the twos, especially the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is about making plans and getting things together, if you like. The Two of Wands in this deck expounds the possibility of strife, which is clearly symbolized by the two guns there. Which is interesting. It's interesting, and I think there's a big numerological strain to Ace through to 10. It's something I'm going to have to explore in a little more detail. Okay, here's the 3 we're going to rush through. Here's the Owl Dude, or Raven. It's a vulture, isn't it? It's a vulture. Boy, do I feel silly now. Here's the Four of Wands. Four of Wands now, very similar to well, you've got that sort of tent structure in the Four of Wands in the Waitsmith. It is a celebration or a marriage, but this person here in the Four of Wands is, you know, they've made their plans and they've brought them to fruition, and she's got her own awesome looking business going on there. I like it. Five of Wands, just reminding us that the Suit of Wands is all about fire. Six of Wands, very familiar image, a celebration going on. Seven of Wands, what is going on here? It's amazing. It's amazing. It's a very beautiful image. A very, very beautiful image. Oh, Tower. Eight of Wands is also kind of familiar to the vibe that we're used to. That's swiftness. Here's the 9, and the Scythe makes a reappearance. Good to see you again, Scythe. And the 10, a red butterfly. And I believe, I mean, I haven't really put too much thought into it going through it a second time. But yeah, so you've got the hip bones there associated with that sexual energy attached to a red butterfly, which is kind of cool. The male pages, so the wands and the swords, they have this cool little top hat going on, which is kind of cool. I like it. Now, to be fair, the court card attributions I do feel very, very similar. So, you know, the pages are something new ideas, study, immaturity, going through the, you know, knights and queens, and it's very similar to what we're used to, if you like. There's the Knight of Wands. Queen of Wands, one of my favourite courts. Just like he's calling the knight and the page for dinner. I would have thought. Maybe, maybe not. Or perhaps... I'm just having a little bit of a laugh here. Oh, look, they kind of match up. Oh, my goodness. What have I just discovered? So what are they looking for? She's like, have you seen the page? The king's like, I don't know, is she up there? Is she up there on the swing? Oh, they all match up. That's amazing. Wow. My mind is blown. This is what a blown hermit's mind sounds like. Yes, and there's the king pointing forward. Move on, I dare you, he's saying. Okay, finally, let's go with some swords. Now this is very cool. So the swords are associated with the colour yellow and associated with the head, you know, as per the swords, intellect, reason, logic, language, all those sorts of things. And interestingly, and very clever, if you look at the eye here, it's you've got the Cyclops thing going on, and it's in the shape of a spade, which is great because the swords did evolve into the suit of spades in your average bog standard playing card deck. I think that's also very, very cool. So let's bosh through these, shall we? Two of Swords, which is interesting, isn't it? I think it's interesting when you've got the skull motif there, not blindfolded, which is interesting. Ooh, Three of Swords. Three of Swords. Now, you definitely got that hardship there. Now that image of the Sacred or Blessed Heart has, you know, popped up all throughout the deck. And, well, it's missing because, you know, that's what you would expect it to see in the Three of Swords. But not so. Not so. Here you've got some very strifey things going on here. You kind of get the very similar sort of vibe. Look, there's that chest reappearing. It's interesting. I'm going to give that some more thought. Four of Swords. Is he nailing the coffin shut? Yeah, he is, isn't he? He wants his rest, doesn't he? Or somebody wants their rest. Five of Swords. Six of Swords, very, very familiar. Let's move away from the situation, cut our losses, and move on for the greater good, if you like. It's interesting. I'm trying to make out. Excuse me a second. I'm just trying to make out what's in his... are they human skeletons? Yeah, I think they are. I was wondering if a vulture, crow, owl dude was making a comeback. Seven of Swords here. The Eight of Swords. This is a cracking image. So, I don't know if I was to pan out. You can make out the storm that is... The storm is coming. The storm is coming. It's in the storm, the clouds, the thunder, the lightning in the shape of a skull there. It's a cracking image. Cracking image. I'm saying cracking a lot. Nine of Swords. which is brilliant. That idea of entrapment through the mind, I think, is brilliantly personified here. And here we go with probably the biggest surprise of the deck. Obviously the tens showing completion, the completion of the matter with regard to their respective suits. And you know, you would expect the Ten of Swords in a deck like this to be utterly mortifying, but not so. It keeps its theme, and this is really interesting. I do believe that is a death's head moth. The part of the body is symbolized here with the head, and if you look at the background here, the cityscape is almost futuristic. Doesn't really vibe with the rest of the deck, but I'm sure that means something. Thought to the future, etc, etc, etc. So finally, let's bosh through. Here's the page, male page, top hat. The knight here, he's just showing off, isn't he? He's showing he's got the skills. The knight, which I often quote as the knightiest knight. He's like, look, I can swallow a sword here. I think he's kind of cheating. He's got no flesh to worry about, but never mind, no. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords now. I love this. Great image. I do love the Queen of Swords. I do love what she means. And again, you know, a female energy that's borne the brunt of her burdens, but she can handle her burdens. She can absolutely handle them. Do love this Queen of Swords. And finally, here's the King of Swords, looking kingly and swordly. So there you have it. That is the Santa Muerte deck, and I hope you've enjoyed the brief look at the cards. I apologise for all the rambliness and etc, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Look out for my spread deck, which I'm probably going to get done in, I don't know, about 20 minutes. But in the meantime, Hidden Hermit, thank you very much.